President Diana Al-Zubi. Unfortunately, today she is not present, but without her efforts, nothing will happen for sure. So she's our leader, our president, CEO, goddess, call her anyhow. Secondly, our Vice President, Public Relations, Artur, thank you very much. He's responsible for promoting us in all social media. Of course, I want to thank our Vice President Education, Victoria, but unfortunately she's not with us today. But anyway, we are very grateful. And if you have any questions in regards to the educational process, I have an honor to be kind of president. And you know, there is a saying that 1,000 miles journey starts with one step. And I want to welcome on stage people who took this first step, the most important one. So people who came here for first time, please get on stage. I want you to be here, please, please. If you came for first time, come. Oh, a lot of people, I love it. Thank you very much. Yeah. I feel the increasing of amount of the cookies that we can buy for today. Yes, thank you very much. So again, my name is Ivan, and what I want from your side is to tell your name, occupation, and what do you expect from today's meeting. So tell us, why should we love you?
Okay, hello everybody. My name is Alexandra, and I am here for maybe find something interesting and listening all these topics.
This is the place, of course.
Yeah, and we'll see.
We will see. Thank you very much.
Hello everyone, my name is Daria. Currently I'm studying in China, so I'm here on vacation, sort of vacation. And I plan to become an interlocutor or a Chinese language teacher. But I love English very much. It's my passion, I think. And I would just like to know some new interesting things, how to practice speaking and not being afraid of giving a speech to a big audience.
Yes. Thank you very much. This is our place.
Hello everyone, my name is Elia. I came here to first meet new people, to strengthen my speaking skills, and maybe I will become a speaker one day.
You will. Thank you very much.
My name is Marina. My two colleagues invite me in this place, and I'm from MTS, and we have such format education 2 years ago, like oratory club, but we have one teacher, and well, it doesn't matter, but I want to in this meeting to see maybe the new format of maybe we can invite our colleague to this club, or maybe some corporate successful deals. I don't know.
We'll see what we can do. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's my phone. Yeah, continue, please. Don't pay attention.
Good evening, my name is Alexander. Unfortunately, I'm not good at English. I work for a small commercial firm. I am here first time. That's all.
Thank you. Please applause.
Hi everyone, my name is Polina. As Marina told before, our colleague invited us to this event. We want to see how this format works. And actually I'm studying Spanish, and I'm studying it in online format. And now I want to see how offline format works, how it can, I don't know, improve my level of languages and improve our situation in MTS. That's all.
Well, I do hope that your situation in NTS will be improved by us, and I'm sure that you will be. I hope that you'll be impressed about what's going on here, and we will have the table topic session, which will be actually designed for newcomers to see, to get on stage, to taste the blood, to see how it works. So please, when the table topic session will be announced, don't hesitate to get on stage. Thank you very much. And right now, I will pass the stage to the person who will guide the entire meeting. Please welcome our Toastmaster of the day, Dmitry. Stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Ivan. Dear fellow members and guests, my name is Dmitry. I will be the host of today's meeting. I will be the Toastmaster of today's meeting. And my job here to present people on this stage and somehow to guide you through the first part of the meeting. And today's topic, which I have chosen, is actually very up to date because today is the 28th of August. We just have a few days of summer left. So the topic of today's meeting is summer impressions. And today's meeting is also a kind of a summer impression for all of us. And I think that for this particular moment, all of you have great impressions through the whole summer, not only in terms of Toastmasters, but also all different kinds of impressions. And personally, for me, every 2 years, summer impression consists first and foremost of a thing called football. Because every 2 years there is either a Euro Cup or a World Cup. And this year it was something special. Because we had a World Cup in our country, and I think that in some way it created, changed the summer for every one of us, even for people who don't support or who are not the fans of football. And I'm sure that every one of you have some kind of your football impressions. So as football somehow created or started this summer in terms of impressions, we also have a special person here in Toastmaster who creates a mood for the meeting and who creates a certain atmosphere for the whole meeting. So this is a joke master for today, and today the role of joke master has taken Alena Dmitrieva. Alena, please come to the stage with your joke.
Thank you. Hello, my friends. Today, when I got today's topic, summertime impressions, suddenly one song appeared in my head. And what is it? I've got a summertime sadness. It's a summertime sadness. You know it, yes. And now I want you to tell some summertime sadness jokes. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. This year the summer was hot. I'm sorry that I worked that day. And what did it fly by? Ah, that was summer. It flies by every year here. In Russia, people love summer because they can fall asleep on the street and not die like in winter. I used to love summer, but then I realized that summer could be any time that you want, if you have money. Now I love money. All the summer we splashed, swam, and rested. So poorly we spent the summer in the bathroom. Thank you for attention, and I wish you a good mood this evening, and I want you to be very happy after this meeting.
Thank you very much as well for the song of Maroon 5, which I personally like very much. And now it's time to continue. And other kind of summer impression which I have, and I also inspire you to have, is music. Because every year, especially in Moscow, there are a bunch of music festivals. Almost every week there is a kind of music festival or kind of event which you can participate in. And I usually, before the summer starts, make some kind of a calendar of like music festivals, put those which I personally like or which I want to attend, not to somehow be lost in time and to lose them, because it's a pity when you understand that the music festival was yesterday. And this is very important to take attention to time in summer very much, and definitely in Toastmaster, because in Toastmaster we're limited in time and each presentation is limited in time. That's why we have a special person who will help us to I think that he will explain all the rules furthermore himself. So please welcome our timer for today, Artur Tuzbekov.
Good evening, dear Toastmaster members, dear guests. Today I'm a timer, and we all know that time is very important in any public speech, and especially in that venue, because exactly at 8:45 this speaker will loudly ask us to get out of here. In order to help our speakers to be in time, I will use special devices, and when I show the green light, it means that our speakers achieved a minimal required amount of time for their speeches. For prepared speech it could be 5 minutes, for table topics it would be 1 minute. And when I show the yellow light, it means that the speaker has to be in a hurry because he has only 30 seconds to go. And when I show the red one, it means that speaker has to stop because he has reached a maximum amount of time. At the end of the meeting, I will report on how well our speakers follow the timing rules. That's all.
Thank you very much. And another thing which I think is quite clear for everyone, that summer, what it is sea or ocean in some cases. And I remember myself, old child, when I first came to the sea. I remember a huge surprise when I realized that in sea the water is salty and helps you to be afloat, and it helps you to swim better. And in Toastmaster we have some things and roles which also help you to be to swim in terms of in the space of public speech and better, to speak better publicly. And one of such roles is A counter. And our today's A counter, Vasily Lavrenov, will tell you what his role is about.
Thank you. Hello everyone. Today I am A counter. As you know, the clearance of your speech is very important. But often people use in a sentence some impressions like and you know, well, and so on. And because of that, it's losing your interesting of your speech, and you spend more time on it. So today I will count your filler words, like I just said, and make a little report. So please don't use them much.
Silly, thank you very much. And now it's time for probably the main part of our meeting. It's time to present our speakers. And as I already mentioned, summer is what? Summer is sea, and definitely summer is traveling. And I'm sure that some of you has already traveled somewhere, spent their vacation, so you have a lot of impressions out of this travel. And now we will have speakers who will make their speeches and who will provide us in the voyage, or in traveling with them to, I don't know where, but I'm sure it will be interesting. So now it's time to present the first person, with the speech from Pathways, the speech number 2, project number 2, which is called Look on the Other Side. So please welcome Sofia Kuzina with her project number 2, Look on the Other Side.
Dear Toastmasters, good evening. I want you to think about one question. What do we spend our money on? Maybe tasty food, or new fashion clothes, or maybe new cars and houses. Sometimes we spend money on something that we don't really need. And sometimes we spend our money and then we don't even remember what we spent our money on. I believe there is a solution to spend money on traveling, because it's something that really gives you an opportunity to see world in a different way, and it's an opportunity to look on the other side. And this year, my family and I decided to look on the other side of the world and go to the place which is called Country Backwards. Maybe you've guessed what country I'm talking about. No? Then I'll tell you, it's Australia. And immediately after Australia, we went to New Zealand. So it was 2 countries in one trip. And I just wanted to share my experience and mark three differences between Russia and these 2 countries. So let's go. The first thing we faced with was openness. When we found a house for renting, we asked the owner of this house about the key, just to close the house. And all we saw were big eyes and open mouth, because in New Zealand, almost nobody closed their houses, especially in small towns. That was a surprise for us, really. And the second example of openness was a local zoo in Australia. Almost all animals, except really dangerous, are allowed to touch. And my little sister was she was like, I can touch a kangaroo, I can hug it. And adults were very, they enjoyed it too. And of course, after doing selfie with the emu, hugging kangaroo, Moscow Zoo seemed very boring for children, because when my little sister came to Moscow Zoo, she said, "Oh, now I see only a tail of kanga. I can hug it." And so the second thing, which I will mark, is tidiness. During thousands of kilometers driving in New Zealand, you will see beautiful landscapes and a lot of sheep and cows, which look exactly like in a fairy tale. Yeah, so you can see these pictures, and in real life it's like the same. The photos and the photos in the internet are the same. That was again a surprise. And and the third thing we found in New Zealand was friendly people. I believe it's the most important one. When we came to New Zealand, again we found a house for renting, and this family whose house we were renting, they were living near us, and one day they offered us to go on boating with them. We said, "What? Boating? With you? We barely know you." But we decided to accept this unexpected invitation. And we spent all day with the family we barely know. We were chatting, boating, water skiing, and having fun. And that was only the beginning of our friendship. Some days later, we just shared our plans with our new friends, the family whose house we'll be renting, and said that we were going on a tourist plane to see beautiful views of New Zealand. And guess what? This neighbor said he's a pilot, and he offered us to show us New Zealand from the plane for free. Can you imagine that?
Wow.
That was really, really a surprise for you and for us. And we said, oh, it's so friendly. It's so friendly from you, because these people barely know us, and they spend a lot of time with us. They spend even money sometimes, and that was really the biggest shock. And all in all, I want to say that this trip really showed us that there is another world, and we should look on the other side of the world to see different life, to see different people, to see different landscapes. And I believe that traveling is really worth spending money. And there is a quote of Hans Christian Andersen: "To travel is to live." Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sophia. It was a pleasure to listen to the story of your journeys.
Thank you.
And now it's time for another journey, because the next person, as far as I understand, will start his journey in Toastmaster, because he will deliver the very first project in Toastmaster, which is called Icebreaker. And now it's time to invite to this stage Nikita Tikhonov with his project, Do You Live the Life You So Intended?
Yeah.
Please, guys, more applause for Nikita. The very first project.
Yeah. Hello, guys. My name is Nikita Tikhonov, and now I will tell you my story. Today, I took a role as an icebreaker. As you know, break the ice is a common English expression to get comfortable with someone. And so I will tell you my story. My story will be about traveling too. It shocked to me that previous speaker talked about Australia, talked about traveling to different countries, because my life always was like a wish to travel, and I always find different and possible different possibilities to start travel. So next one. I was born in 1985 in small town Tula. Tula got famous with gingerbreads and Toastmasters. But as I remember my childhood, I always keen to traveling and bicycles. So when I was younger, I wanted to travel to different countries, but I didn't know how to get it. And so I found hitchhiking when I was 16 years old, and we together with my friends started travel to Baikal. So we discovered that hitchhiking is an interesting way to communicate with local people, to find new friends, and it's all without money. So we traveled So we traveled every year for every summer for 3 years. That is one of the local people in Kyrgyzstan. They live without electricity for whole year, for example. And then it's ordinary people who live in Kazakhstan in different countries. Then we ride a horse. It's Afghanistan. We travel in Afghanistan too. Next, but then I realized that I want to travel more and more interesting. Then I need money. So I started to work in different companies, and I changed my lifestyle in order to buy motorcycles and start traveling on motorcycles. So we discovered and we reached the northern part of the Russia. It's like North Cap. It's northern than Murmansk, for example. Then we traveled to Tajikistan. It's the highest way in Russia, 4,555 meters. And then we traveled to Magadan. It was for some years. But then I was falling in love with my wife, and I changed my lifestyle, and I need to settle down. I need to work like manager and build my career, and then I achieved the position like chief of managers, then chief of trainer, and then I realized that I don't live my life I intended. I want to travel, and so I arranged with my company to take 3 months off, and we go to Sri Lanka for 3 months. After that, when I returned to my company was bankrupt. And so I asked myself what I should do to travel for a long time, and I faced 2 ways. The first way is build corporate career, and my way that I live is to become an entrepreneur. And so I started buy, sell cars. It's an interesting way. It's really possible to earn thousands of rubles every month, and even million every month. Yeah, it's possible, but it's not a good way to start traveling for the world, for the whole world. And now I discovered online business, and now I started 2 online schools. And I hope it will help me to travel the world in 2 or 3 years. That's all.
Thank you very much. More journeys, more traveling. And as I noticed on the date marks, the majority of the travels were in summer, so thank you for some impressions as well. Now it's time to continue, and now it's time to invite to the stage a person who has already started her journey in Toastmaster, and not only as a speaker but also as a leader, because she is vice president of this particular club. And now it's time to invite Kate Lapteva with her project Benefits of Quick Getaways. You need something?
We have such travelers today to Australia, New Zealand, around Russia, everywhere. Thanks. So I would like to start my speech from a simple question. Who would like to holiday more often?
raise your hands. More often? Come on, everyone. Everyone should shoot up. Obviously, it's amazing if you have time, 1 month or 2 months, to go to Australia or New Zealand, or to go to Sri Lanka and enjoy your life. But for ordinary people who have a restricted time, a limited time, they have annual leave balance and don't have an opportunity to travel for so long, what should they do? The answer is very simple. Just divide your vacation into short breaks and take mini vacations as much as possible. As for me personally, I just came back from St. Pete. It's just 9 hours from Moscow by taking a car, and it was such a worthwhile experience. Actually, the name of this project was born when I was driving from Veliki Novgorod to the northern capital, and our Vice President of Education, Vika, texted me reminding that I have a project ahead. I was like, oh really, in 2 days? So what should I talk about? What should I present? And then I was like, come on, the answer is just in front of you. So what are the benefits of short breaks? First of all, new discoveries. There are particular places and some cities where 1 or 2 weeks of your precious vacation time is a lot. Trust me, I guarantee you. If you visit Petra in Jordan, or Munastam in Oman, or Cappadocia in Turkey, or etc., 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 3 or 4 days is more than enough there. So you can devote your time to one place and then divide your rest of the time and discover new places. Second of all, jam-packed short breaks feel a lot longer than they are. And actually it is. If you take 3 or 4 days out of your vacation, you pack your time with activities, adventures, and if you have 1 or 2 weeks, it's just, we tend to take time very slowly, making days roll into one another. Third one, pre-trip happiness. According to studies, anticipation and planning the trip is already giving you a mental boost. Do you remember that pleasant feeling of excitement before the trip? I do, and I want to experience that more often. Fourth one, it refers to workaholics. Anyone is a workaholic here? That's one for you. It's easier to switch off if you know there is a limited time. For example, workaholics benefit more from short breaks because the stress of disconnecting from the office is limited. You have just 2 days and you are more likely to switch off your phone just for 2 days. The fifth one, easy on your wallet. Obviously you spend less money on night's accommodation, and in addition you don't waste your time on flight tickets because you can take a car and drive. Anybody has a pet or a baby? Same, yes. And it's easier to find a sitter for a pet or a baby for a short weekend away. Do you agree with me? Yeah. And the seventh, my most favorite, it's a great way to celebrate. If you have anniversary coming up, a birthday, or any special occasion, if a man wants to pop up the question, traveling, whether it's going to be a romantic getaway or a family trip together, it's a perfect reason to leave your hometown. Actually, I made a tradition for myself. For the past 7 years, I've spent my birthdays, which is going to be in September soon, away from the place I live, and they became really special to me. I prepared for you a list of Moscow weekend getaways. You can go to Golden Ring, to Karelia, to St. Pete, Ukraine, Belarus, Kazan, etc., etc. So many places are waiting for you. So just grab your friends, pack your bags, and go on a journey. Thank you very much. I hope I motivated you.
Thank you. Guys, it's time to remind you that you have special pieces of paper somewhere on your seats. So they are for the evaluation of a speaker who was on the stage. And Kate won't have a oral evaluation. That's why it's very important to give your personal evaluation, and not only to Kate but also to Nikita and Sofia, who were here before. So please, guys, fill these evaluation sheets during the meeting and pass them to our speakers. Okay, I think it's clear. And now it's time for the last but not the least, as we always say, speaker for today, who will also give his first project, who will also step into the journey in terms of Toastmaster. And I'm honored to invite to the stage Mark Wilson with his first project, which is called My Introduction.
Okay. I don't actually have a PowerPoint presentation for this, so yeah, I need to find my email. Give me a few minutes.
Actually, guys, it's a great opportunity to fill the forms which I just mentioned and to pass them to speakers, so please use this time wisely. Yeah, sure. Is there anyone who doesn't have an relationship? No? Sure, I want one more form or evaluation of speakers. Yeah, there were more. And guys, please just don't put the points for the in different kinds of criteria, but also write down some recommendations. But it's, I think, more important for a speaker to have some personal opinion, some personal touch to his or her performance. Thanks.
If you need more, I could give you.
Are there supposed to be 3 or 4?
For each speaker, so 4 probably.
Okay. Well. So, hello everyone. This is only my second time coming to this meeting, so I'm guessing a lot of you don't know who I am. My name's Mark Wilson. I'm from a town in England called Reading. It's in the southeast. I was actually a member of Toastmasters quite a number of years ago, maybe eight years ago. I did a few speeches while I was there, actually, but I feel like I got out of practice in that time. 8 years is a bit of a stretch, so I think it's a good idea to get back into it. But yeah, I'm an English teacher. That's what I do here. You probably won't be so surprised to hear that. But interestingly enough, in this job, you don't actually do that much public speaking, because the idea is to get your student to speak the most. So I probably do 10% of the speaking, and I mean it's good practice, but it's not speech making. So I wanted to improve that skill. So yeah, but either way, it's a very useful talent. Outside of work, you can use it in all spheres of life. So I might start by answering a question that literally everybody asks me when they meet me, and that is, why did you come to Moscow? And despite the general nervousness of giving a speech, I'm glad that I can tell 20 people this at the same time, so I don't have to tell you all individually. So the answer to that is, I didn't actually plan to live here the first time I came here, which was about 2 years ago. and I was just interested in seeing Russia. And somebody told me, you know, if you're a native speaker and you have some experience or some kind of qualification, you can do well here. And so I called up. Have you heard of the website expat.ru? Expat.ru, right? Okay,
Yeah.
well, that was where it was. And so I rang this man who is still my manager today, and I said, I saw your advert. Are you still looking for a teacher? And he said, yeah, can you come down today? So I went down, did the interview, and he said, okay, start tomorrow. And that was it. That's how it began. I was an English teacher before this as well, in Barcelona. And I also taught online, so I had an advantage in that. Let's see, where am I up to now? How do I go down on this one? I want to, maybe these keys, yeah. Okay, thanks. So yeah, I looked on this website, went to the interview, did all that. I've probably, even though I came here the first time in October 2016, I probably only spent a year and a half, roughly, because I had to go back for visa reasons, and also I like to stay there for a while when I do go there. I don't want to go there for 3 days and then just come back. I like to have like a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and so yeah, that's why the time has been shortened in that way. I like to see family and friends and do the things that I always used to do there. And I suppose I should then now go into more depth about the reason I came here, specifically to this place, Moscow World Surfers. As I said before, it's a good skill to have, not just for my career as a teacher, but generally, you know, if you have this ability to communicate to a mass audience, you can do good things, and it will open up many doors to you. And now, yes, I need to go down again. It gives you, it also, if you have the confidence to speak to people in front of a group, it also gives you confidence to speak in basically any situation. Because sometimes in like a one-on-one situation with people, even that can feel awkward. But you know, once you have that feeling of being able to do this, the confidence just continues to grow. So I think that you're also, with the skill of public speaking, your ability to remember things is improved, because you have to go through the speech and practice this again and again, and hopefully not have to look at your notes so much, like I'm doing now. I hope I can stop doing that eventually. How long have I got left?
30 seconds.
Okay. Okay, and yeah, it's good. It teaches you to think on your feet. So if you're, you know, if you've got your like basic outline of it, you can think of things immediately. And I think someone like Donald Trump is a good example of someone who does this. He just goes up there and thinks spontaneously. Okay. It's also an opportunity. Do I have to stop? Oh.
You can wrap up.
Okay. Yeah, I've only got a few seconds to go. It improves your listening skills as well. So I think if you start to make an effort about the way that other people do things, the way they talk, you bring that on. It's kind of like I don't know, a musician, I suppose. He starts to observe other musicians and how they play, and he takes inspiration from that and from the person they've been observing. So we we can't learn right. And if we don't observe, we can't learn right. And if we can't learn right, then we can't do anything right. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Mark. Thanks to Mark, to his story about how he entered Moscow, how he came in, about his journey, how he already also about his journey, how he stepped into Toastmasters. And now it's time to close the first part of the meeting. And I would like to say that by some happy coincidence, we had a lot of speeches about journeys today, and journeys is certainly is a part of some impressions. And I would like also to thank a person who is our today's kickmaster. Actually, it's Artur, right? Artur, because he will make our impressions of today's meeting even better. So applause to Artur for being a kickmaster for today. And to wrap up my presentation as a Toastmaster, I would like to say that, guys, you still have 3 full days of summer. So it's time to, I don't know, not maybe to go somewhere, but why not to maybe have some little journey, or just to find something new here in Moscow and maybe listen to some music. I don't know, maybe go to a museum to have some new fresh impressions, which will add to the baggage of impressions which you already had and already have. And this will make a great whole impression of this summer of 2018. Thank you very much. Now it's time for the pause, and please don't forget to give donations, which is about 100 rubles. There is a yellow box there. Thanks. It's time to break.
One more thing, please. Register in the sheet that I gave to the newcomers. Newcomers, please. Where is it? Okay. If anyone has okay.
Yeah, it's the break time. You can have your cookies. Yes.
One more Emmy.
Yeah, I got it. Kompletna wolno.
So long time ago, we saw each other for the last time. Hello.
Hi, newcomers.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm sorry,
What's your impression about the club?
thank you.
Yeah, so it sounds like each one was addressed as soon as
Is your place? Yeah, of course.
I discovered that this explanation
everybody comes to be visited, and I think I should moderate once again. I forgot about it at the very beginning. Now I understand it's serious commitment, and at the end I will. How are you? Yeah, you are very confident. It was part of tradition. Now I'm doing
The summer days, the summer days.
You'll come in day after tomorrow and do
There were
very next one. So not the one in this
Who would like to continue? I see the hand, please. Welcome. What is your name?
Yuri.
Yuri. Okay, Yuri, choose your summer impression.
Okay. Not an easy task. The most awkward moment.
Awkward.
Yes. Of this summer. Yes.
Of this summer, yes.
Today is counted.
Of course, today is summer.
Let it be the most awkward moment of this summer that I took the floor here right now and expected an easy question. But you see, the most awkward moment, the most scaring, I had it. The most funny, I had it. But the most awkward, let it be. I don't know what to tell you. What the most awkward moment I should tell you about. Let it be the most awkward situation right here, right now, of this summer. Okay. We will count it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
We have a lot of emotions and it always helps. Okay, I see a lot of hands now. Girls, please welcome, and I see yours, you'll be next. What is your name? Alona. Choose your summer impression. Rose, of course, pink. For a girl.
I'd like to tell about the touchiest moment. Touchiest moment
Sensitive
means
touches.
sensitive.
Yes, yes.
Sensitive. Okay. I like to create parties. Who knows how to do it very well. You should spend a lot of money, and you should think about tasks and about drinks and about food, and also invite funny people. And I think the most touchiest moment was on one of my parties that I created, and that was one person fell down to the fire with his fifth point because he was not crying, he was not upset, but he said that oh, he helped me, thank you very much. And I felt like a savior. that was my toughest moment of this summer.
Nice. Ready to color. And don't forget to invite us to the next party.
Come to it because it is very vague now, but it's special.
It's creative
It's
panel.
special pink
Let it be like this.
statue of the flower.
Okay. Okay, and I see your hands, lady. What is your name?
Alexandra.
Alexandra. Okay, nice to meet you and choose your panel.
The most interesting book. Oh, you know, I really, really like to read, and I think I'm eating all these books. And I think that my mom, with whom I'm living, one day when I take a new book at home, she just told me, "Go away, just stop to do that." Because I'm buying books and read it. The most interesting book of this summer, maybe it is Architecture Moscow. It is an interesting book about different interesting houses in Moscow, and I really like it, and I have a lot of plans to watch all these buildings and enjoy it. So that's the interesting book, the most interesting book for me.
Thank you. Alexandra, create our flower.
Oh, let me hear.
Yes. And do you know that one of the Toastmasters, I don't know which club he belongs to, but he's conducting the excursion connected to different architecture styles. And if you are interested of anybody, just ask me and I will tell. Okay, do we still have time?
Yes.
Yes, okay, perfect. And I see the hands. Come here, lady. What is your name? Sonia. Sonia. Nice name.
The most unexpected meeting of this summer. Okay. Oh, I have it. Yes. You know, I have two sisters, two little sisters, and our dad is rather strict. And one day, he told us, Arisha, Varya, and Sonia, stay at home and clean the house while I'm away. And he went on a business trip. And I said, okay. So mommy was with us, and she was playing with our littlest girl, with my littlest sister, and I thought, okay, now I have time not to clean the house, and I went to Moscow to go with my friends and to go shopping. And when I came to Moscow, I was shopping in Atrium, in Kurska metro station, and when I came to the shop, I opened the door, and my sister is coming from this shop, and that was really unexpected meeting, because I thought that my thoughts and the sister's thought were the same. Like, Papa went away, Dad got away, and we go shopping. We go to the Moscow, and we were laughing, and that was really unexpected. But finally, we went home and cleaned the house, so everything went greatly.
Thank you. Flower. Okay, perfect. Do we still have time? Okay, perfect. Who would like to be on the stage and to be the brilliant on the stage? Okay, Christina, come.
But could you please repeat me the task, because I feel like
Sorry.
Here's the pedal.
Perfect.
You pick it up and you will tell us about your summer impression, exactly
Okay.
what it is written here,
Mhm.
and then add your pedal here to the flower. Very easy.
Perfect.
We have it.
Okay, this one,
Of
of course. I'm a girl. So the most beautiful evening. Or I even shouldn't think a second because actually I love summer because I have my birthday. And for me, as it was mentioned today, the birthday is something very, very special. I love my birthdays. And every time I make a special holiday, invite all my friends, we go somewhere. And the majority of the Toastmasters know that I'm famous for being a great lover of horses and the Spanish language, and also the Latin American dances. So that's why this time I decided to ask all my friends to go to the Latin American bar. And we went to one and we were dancing all the night with the Cuban dancers who are very hot. They showed out the movements, and all my friends, even those who didn't know how to dance salsa and bachata, they had to do it. And frankly speaking, together with this wonderful boys from Cuba, it wasn't so difficult to do that. I hope that, and I know that everybody enjoyed, and not only me, but we together got the most interesting and the most positive emotions from that evening. So going to the flower, the most beautiful evening of this summer was my birthday party, and with all my positive emotions, which I still have inside of me, I put this part to the flower. So
Nice, Perfect. Thank you very much, Christina. We still have time. I would like to add, just yesterday we met Christina together at some party and we danced also. So thank you for sharing the memory, and if you like to dance, just join us. So we still have one pedal and just a little time. Who would like to be on the stage, to be brilliant on the stage, this time? Wow, I see a lot of hands.
Just pick someone.
Yeah, we have volunteers. Kind of needed. What is your name?
Vladimir.
Vladimir, and you have your balloon.
Oh, the touch sync again.
Touchy, really?
Yes, the touch sync.
Okay, we've heard the touch thing from the lady, and now we would like to hear the touch thing from the man.
From the man,
Yes,
of
of course.
Okay, I will start. Just a moment. I think it was a moment when I finished reading the book of my friends. It was first time when I read a book which wasn't published by companies. It was like samizdat. And you know, this book is written more quality and with more rich language in Russian than professional writers do, I think, because it books so impressed me, and the finish of the books was so unusual and unexpected that, you know, after I finished, through a few months, I remembered and had a sad feeling that the reading is finished. I was like a child who lose his good toy, I think. Yeah, and also I would like to mention about this writer, my friend. He's not a writer as a professional, and he has a real illness. He is epileptic, but it doesn't stop him from writing as well as you just can realize. That's all.
Thank you very much. Perfect. Thank you. We have a lot of book lovers here and one touch man. Okay, this session is almost over, and now we have a chance to vote for the best table topic speaker for today. The names are here. I hope you remember for them like a cube. So you're welcome. And thank you for those who be here on the stage.
Thank you very much, Alisa. It was very vivid and interesting, and I think that will be also one more impression for all of us, this table topic session. And now, without further ado, I would like to invite to the stage the general evaluator of our meeting, Denis Shevchuk.
Do you like world surfers?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of limited time.
Right, I agree with you, Sasha. Because of limited time. Time is money in world surfers. No time to waste. I'm inviting the first person evaluator. No. Kristina Sharikina will be evaluating first.
Thank you.
Dear audience, hello. My name is Christina and I'm personal evaluator of Mark. Do you hear me? And do you feel any connection with me? Right now, I'm looking at you. Do you like it?
And if I am here in the central part of the stage, I'm looking to the audience, I talk to you, I use my body language, I use my gestures. Do you feel more comfortable with me? Do you perceive me better?
Yes.
Okay. So, dear Toastmasters, dear audience, dear Mark, it was a little experience to show you how does it work on the stage. When you are behind the lecture, it's really very difficult to build a contact with the audience because you're closed. But once you step out of the lecture, once you're in the center of the stage, and you enjoy the audience, and the audience enjoy you, from this moment, you start building this kind of connection. I understand that it was your first project, and still I congratulate you on your very, very first step on the stage. I know that's really very difficult. And I would like to stress out that the structure of your project was really great, despite the thing that it wasn't a classical structure. So you didn't have like introduction, the main part, and the conclusion. You had different parts, different paragraphs of the speech, but there were very clear transitions, and it was quite easy as for me to follow you. One more thing I liked was that you shared with us your personal story, and you were trying to involve people into this project. At the same moment, I think that there were several things which I would like to mention that you could have done better, and these things are my personal advice for you. First of all, thank you. First of all, try to speak louder, because it was really difficult for people, and they agreed with me that it was difficult to hear you. Second thing, try to fix more your eyes on the audience. So I saw that you were looking at people, but it was very rare times when you use your eye contact. Try to look to one side, then to the other, and then to the third, usually from the left to the right, and then back to the center. And one more thing for your further projects. Of course, the body language is not the thing of 1, 2, even 3 projects. It's the thing to work during a long period of time. But I advise you to use your body more, because it's one of your main instruments for communication with the audience. Your gestures and your body and your voice, of course. Generally, it was well done. I congratulate you, and I wish you all good luck of our Toastmaster community, and I wish you to become one of the brightest members of this wonderful club of world surfers. Thank you.
Sometimes people do criticize you. I don't know about the audience, but I personally agree with Christina. The only thing I think Christina could have done differently, better, is that there are a number of points you gave Mark, right? But since you may overflow a person with information, just pick 1 or 2. The one you consider the most important and go with it. But other than that, congratulations, be like Christina. Don't be afraid to be harsh. Now, Sonia delivered her second speech, and she was pretty good at it. And Maria Kalinkina, you evaluated. Maria Kalinkina shaved today, dressed as short, and will evaluate your speech shortly.
Thank you. Thank you, Dennis. Dear World Surfers Club, dear Sonia, first of all, let me congratulate you with delivering your second project. That was about deliver the speech on any general topic and receive any useful feedback. I will try to do my best here. First of all, let me mention the things I liked on your speech, and that's of course the preparation and confidence. That really inspired me a lot, because that's a level higher than I can see different speeches on the first or the second project. That I can feel a lot of preparation behind that. Not sure if that's true, but still. The content and structure was really great. The travel is very interesting subject, appealing to everyone here in the audience. And the structure was in chronological order, but the travel, you also mentioned different, some differences in Russia versus New Zealand. Also, the presentation itself was very vivid and supportive. As we can see, next, let me tell a few words about your speech style. First of all, regarding your voice, it's very impressive, and I would say quite exciting and vivid how you change the volume and put the excitement on the things to point attention of the audience. That's really great. And also your gestures, that was open and to the point, I would say. But that's here I forgive you some points for improvement, right? So you can use them in your later projects. And first of all, try to not to look so frequently at your presentation that you did. So it was several, probably once or twice in like 10 seconds, something like that. It was quite frequent. Try to use some touch your presentation when necessary, not always, but sometimes it's a good. So you can even touch that. That's grasp the attention of the audience to these points. Also, regarding maintain your eye contact. I see you did a great job on that part, so you tried to cover the audience with your eye contact, but it was a bit fast. Try to maintain the eye contact with people a bit longer, with each person, so you can maintain the contact with him. Also, the use of the stage. You have been using mostly this part, but the stage is even bigger, so you can approach the audience, right? So you can feel the audience attention here and even increase that when you approach the audience. Probably not too dramatic like some of our Toastmasters usually do, but Dennis, you know what I'm talking about? But still, and the poses, the great tool that you will learn further. Try to read about the poses and use them, because this will stress the attention. And I'm wrapping up. For the future, I wish to hear more challenging topics from your side. That's where you can improve further. Thank you so much.
Thank
you. Anton gave you 5 positive things about your speech and 4 recommendations, and it was a little too much. You ran out of time. Luckily, we don't have much time in World Surfers. For all of you, when you evaluate a person, you write down your points. You pick 2 positive, 2 negative. Speak about them at length, and it will be all right. The last evaluator for today is Alexandra Gulayeva with her evaluation on Nikita's speech.
Dear listeners, dear Nikita, I'm going to follow Denis' instructions and give you 2 positive points about your speech and 2 points of improvement. And as one of the general purposes of the icebreaker is to find out your strengths and improvement points as a speaker, I will start with your main strength, which I found out during the speech, for my personal opinion, which is your charismatic potential. And while listening to you, I guess the audience was feeling how natural and open you feel on the stage. While maybe this confidence comes because you are talking about yourself, and it's a steady ground for you. Moreover, you are not afraid to joke, and you also possess a good command of English in terms of grammar. Another good thing which I found out was your structure, which was easy to follow, and you had a clear linear timeline structure. And I'm not saying, don't take me wrong, that make every speech with linear structure. But here and now, it was good as it matched your project goal. Two improvement points which I would like to mark. First is also related to structure, and also it is about referring to your audience a bit more. What could help with it is really structure, because you could strengthen a bit your opening and strengthen a bit your conclusion. Your speech was like, so you started, and by steps you went through your structure. But if you make your opening like, wow, question or something, then you go through all your things which you would like to tell us, and then you make some strong conclusion. It involves people more, and we can understand what you want to emphasize. You are trying to make a motivating story of your personal life and successes, or you want to make a touchy talk about food for thought of which life we want to live, or maybe you want to focus on some like travel blog things. Here, focusing on structure could help you. And another thing which I noticed is a bit of repetition of thoughts, because you, at the beginning of your speech, you repeated like for 5 times that you're going to talk about yourself, your life. Yes, I'm going to talk about myself. And here I'm going to present a speech about myself. And during your speech, you repeated the same thought about why traveling is good, also for 2 or 3 times. So this repetition is not that good. Generally, I hope this project will become a good starting point for your Toastmasters travel, and will make you closer to the life you intend to have.
Since she followed my advice, I have to compliment her. But in a way, you ran out of time at the end. It is a fact. What can I do? And it happened because you promised us 2 positive things, but you told about 4. Charismatic potential, good command of English, sense of humor, and something else at the end. So nevertheless, it was good, but think about what you want to talk about, and watch yourself when you're talking about it. We have 2 people, infrastructure roles, the accountant and the timer, and I want to invite them to, oh right, thank you very much, and sorry for that, right. You probably, hopefully, took your evaluation sheets and wrote the name of the person you consider a table topic winner. If you didn't do that, please. And when you have done it, pass it to Ivan. But we still want to listen to the accountant report. So Vasily, if I'm not mistaken.
So I really hope you tried harder this time, make your speech clear and not use words as I described earlier. I really impressed by some persons, which speeches was very clear, like Ivan, Denis, Artur, Alena. Great job, but some persons still need improve their speeches. Our Toastmasters, Dmitry, you use a lot. Also a word and. So also our speaker Nikita, the same. Kate used a few times barley. And used few times so, and also and etc. That's it.
Artur, the timer.
It was almost perfect meeting in terms of timing. I have 3 things to mention. Mark Wilson has over 1 minute more than he should to do that. I think for icebreaker it's okay. And 2 personal evaluators, Anton plus 30 seconds, Alexandra plus 15 seconds. And about Kate, she didn't reach her minimal amount of time. You have 1 minute to speak something, and you could use stage to present more ideas. That's all.
Now I have about 5 minutes to give you my overall evaluation of the meeting, and I have a couple of things that I want to address to all service officer on the whole. The first thing, consider doing it without the break. I think people can take it and we'll have more time for speeches evaluations. Just my suggestion. The second thing is, the time is short. Things like the one happened with Mark shouldn't be allowed, or as little, as seldom as possible. You got the point, right? Now the president substitute today. Ivan, was it the first time?
Yeah,
second time, right? Now, it was not necessary to tell the audience, half of the audience or 1/3 or whatever, is newcomers, newcomers, to tell about the officers. Well, it's nice to introduce the officers, but they don't know what officers are or the executive committee are, and you can save time by not telling about that. Other than that, good job with the introduction. Joke master, Alena, I respect you for being brave, and being brave was in that you tried to sing. It's not easy. It's not easy. But we could got the idea, right? But if you want to be funny, being funny is not easy. Being funny is not easy. If you want to be funny, and I'm addressing not only Anila but all of you, pick some original jokes first. Secondly, if you use some jokes, make sure the reality corresponds to the jokes. Because when you said, I love the summer and it's great, one summer one was 1 day, but we had nice summer today, right? It didn't click with the people. So check your jokes, they correspond to reality. And pick some new jokes, or tell a personal story. It will be funnier to listen to a personal story. Toastmaster, Dmitry. Dmitry is experienced Toastmaster, nice person. For example, I loved how you supported Nikita, who I don't see right now in the audience, by asking people to clap to him when he entered the stage. There are 2 things. One of the things is you are a little too verbose. You use unnecessary words. Like when you were speaking about speakers, you said, speakers who make their speeches about speech, something like that. You don't need to tell us about that. You use filler phrases and filler sentences and filler paragraphs. Think about that. Joke master, time. If I don't mention you did okay. Right, table topics master. Great job. Great job. Managed the whole process. Managed to invite 8 people, complete your whole agenda, and invited newcomers. My personal small recommendation to you, don't be afraid to be a little more direct. Like, oh, please newcomers, please. No! Here. It's okay. They might want to do that. What's your name?
Daria.
I see in Daria's eyes, she wants to do that, but she's a little too afraid. You have to push her, right? Daria, go there, right? So she takes the stage and... Overall, cool. Oh, Alexandra and Vladimir. Alexandra, right, and Vladimir. Great job, guys. You're brave. We appreciate that. We respect you for taking the stage when you come. No criticism for you, unfortunately. And I guess that's about it. Thank you very much. Please welcome your Deputy President, Ivan.
Thank you very much. Each evaluation of Denise hurts, but it works because afterwards we will make some improvements and our meeting will become, and our club will become even better. So now we had this amazing table topic session, and we had a lot of speeches, and we had a lot of a great table topic master. Thank you very much, Alisa. And I would like to mention the winner. So the winner of today's table topic session is Vladimir. Vladimir,
Yes, here.
Vladimir, on stage. Come on.
I should go.
Yeah, this ribbon is yours. Thank you very much for being brave, for being a part of our club. You know how it works. So smile. And hope to see you next. Thank you very much. And today we really had a special meeting because two great speakers were born. I mean that they tried the first time to deliver a prepared speech. Mark Wilson, please get your ribbon. Icebreaker. You did it. You did it. Come on. Sure. Your first presentation in this club. I'm looking forward to listening for more. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
And of course, Nikita. Sure, you did it as well. Thank you very much for being a part of our club. And what I can say, we're waiting for you for next time in the same very place, at the same very time. And I do hope that you enjoyed the cookies. If you have some suggestions in regards to the improvement of our club, or cookies that you would like to have, and if you have any questions about how to join us, so please approach either me or any one of our committee. Thank you very much. I wish you a wonderful day and evening.
Ты же разобралась с пасвейс этой системы поискам? Да.
Теперь я должна это рассказать в другом клубе.
Да, ты там два варианта, по-моему, загружать, либо насканировать, либо можно в электронном виде, насколько я знаю, загружать. Вот просто я могу тебе, если хочешь, я тебе могу в электронном виде написать. Вот, это напишу, чтобы понятно было, тебе пришлю то же самое в электронном виде. Так, а давай.
Ты обращалась к предыдущему.
Давай контакт. Личный вокзал.
Не знаю. Пока я, может, поем, а потом...
Я посмотри на меня, посмотри на других, на меня, посмотри. И зашел какую-нибудь структуру, обратить внимание, либо транзишн между ними, потому что четвертое. Ну, такой резкий свич. Вот, и еще у меня несколько идей было, и это из-за того, что все
я вот тоже не знаю, вот почитать, что там написано в проекте, да, но возможно, там вроде second, как second speech есть, вот, может что-то, да, нужно где-то рассказать.
Да, идеально 3. Вот можно выделить их как и прям ярко, и еще один момент. Это в конце можно их повторить. Когда у тебя все в заключении, тебе это сложно повторять. А когда у тебя их там поменьше, да, вот, можно их повторить так, что людям станет понятно. Да, вот смотри, раз, два,